Hello and welcome to the Larp Guide. In this video, I'll be answering the question of what is post-apocalyptic LARP and what you as a player can expect to see if you attend one. So, first things first, let's set that scene. Post-apocalyptic LARPs are often focused on players surviving in a world post-global catastrophe, trying to fight for the few remaining resources left in this apocalyptic wasteland, where there is usually no functional justice system and law comes down to survival of the fittest or who has the biggest gut. Expect to roleplay in a harsh environment where disease and roaming gangs could at any second take or destroy your hard-won supply. Be prepared to have to fight for your character's survival that is often one meal away from death. Post-apocalyptic LARP is a very interesting style of LARPing that often taps into how resourceful you can be. It's more about thinking ahead than reacting to what is happening now. This style is more focused on survival than character growth and power. You often have to think about how much a situation is going to cost you in resources and if it will then be worth that cost. This can have a massive impact on how you think regarding your roleplay and interacting within the world. In a fantasy system, you can often heal yourself by expending a daily refreshable spell or using some easily obtained blood at Vampire LARP. But in a post-apocalyptic LARP, healing is often a very resource and time-expensive activity. So being Mr. Big Mouth could very quickly see you and all your friends lying on the floor, wishing you had just given over that can of food rather than fighting over it. It's strange how you will find yourself counting bullets, medicine, and food as a sign of how well you're doing. I have never sat around a campfire counting my arrows, spell slots, and bags of crisps at a fantasy LARP and thinking, damn, I'm doing well. One of the games I played in had a vat of poison affect 4 players all at once, that then used up all the group's antidote reserves. This was about an hour's worth of roleplay for everybody involved, but the scary bit that didn't come till later. A bomb was found under the building we were staying in. There was no way out other than to defuse it. So of course, some players went rushing in to defuse it. They all got affected by poison gas in the air around the bomb, and we no longer had any antidotes. The players quickly realized that they were all now on their death count with no means of survival. We then spent the following hour playing out their deaths. That's an example of post-apocalyptic LARP survival. It's a hard-won reward at the end of the event. Walking out with more resources than what you started with is very rare. It's not about how much damage you can do or take. It's about how well you can adapt to the system's environment and thinking about each of your actions before taking them. I love this about this style of LARP. I've spent hours role-playing making gunpowder from parts of old scrap and charcoal from a fire pit. It's a style of game that will find you doing child science experiments with a group of adults and loving it. I had a great time once seeing how moonshine can be made, and then how it can be used in medical application. The individual who was talking me through it had bodged together a very basic distillery, and then we spent the rest of the day in between scav runs and negotiations with mutants, coming back to the distillery, and then for him to explain what would happen next. The end result was that out of character, I learned loads about how to make moonshine, and we both ended up with some in-game resources to use for making medicine. Now imagine 40 players all doing things like that all over the place, from setting up traps to breaking down scavenged equipment, and suddenly you have a game that is very interesting and fun in between all of the set events the organizers have been putting on for you. Post-apocalyptic LARP also often includes the use of firearms within the rules. What I mean by this is things like airsoft, nerf, and laser tag weapons that can be found within the system, and this will normally then be reflected in some form of safety equipment that must be worn within certain areas. I have to admit this was a definite eye-opener for me, as up until this point I was just concerned in dodging arrows and reacting to the occasional spell call. But after my first game in a post-apocalyptic wasteland, I found myself using cover and quickly moving past open windows to avoid being shot. It's little things like this that add the extra layer of immersion and fun that only this style of LARP can offer. Now, I have purposely not mentioned costuming, as we plan to cover this in its own video and offer some advice on how to go about making your first post-apocalyptic characters kit. The one I'm wearing now was made for my Wasteland UK character and was a fantastic learning experience. But I'll cover all of this in that other video. Speaking of Wasteland UK, this has been my only experience of post-apocalyptic LARP. But I bet all of you have had your own amazing experiences just like mine. So I would like to make a call to arms. Please pop in the comments below your experience within this style of LARP. And of course, any advice you would like to offer to new players thinking about giving it a go. Also, for all you amazing post-apocalyptic LARP event organizers from all over the world, please pop in the comments below links to your games. Fingers crossed in the future when someone is searching for post-apocalyptic LARP on YouTube, they will come across links to your games on this video. Thank you to everyone for taking the time to stick around to the end of the video. I truly appreciate each and every one of you and hope to see you all again soon.